Hi, I am a high school English teacher, and this past fall I wrote and received my first grant. I teach Title I students, and this past fall, when my students were reading Night, which is a memoir about the Holocaust, I kept thinking that the students would understand and appreciate the story more if they could hear more authentic survivor experiences. I asked my department chair about the possibility of maybe going on a field trip to the Holocaust Museum in St. Louis, but because of funding issues, the school had to cut back on all field trips, so it wasn't a possibility at the moment. Now, while I've never written a grant before, I thought about the idea and talked it over with a family friend. The only experience I've ever had with grants was watching two of my coworkers spend an entire summer writing a grant, and then last minute the grant was canceled because of lack of funding. So when my family friend suggested I apply for a Target grant, I was a little bit hesitant. I had no idea what I was doing, and frankly, the idea of writing for a grant seemed a bit daunting. Nonetheless, she sent me a link for the grant, told me the deadline, and I got to work. The thought of my students and the real life experience that they would receive, that was just enough to keep me going and, for me to at least try. Now, I love to write, so the writing process, it wasn't too bad. The grant proposal included about 4 to 5 questions that I had to answer. I went through several drafts before sending a draft to the family friend for a quick review. One thing I learned while writing for this grant was to be as specific and detailed as possible with my responses. The people donating the money for the grant want to know exactly where the money is going, what it's for, who it will help, and how it will help them. Overall, the process of writing, it was easier than I thought it would be. I think I kept my students in mind the whole time, the experiences that they would receive from it, and that really kind of motivated me to keep going and editing and do my best. So I applied for the grant in October, and I heard in December that I had received it. It was really exciting. Since it was my first time writing for a grant, I had no idea what to expect in regards to the outcome. And I just kind of had to trust that I had given it my best shot and done my best. I will be taking my students on the field trip in late February, and I told them about it a couple weeks ago, and they were ecstatic. Now, these students rarely get to go on field trips, and at first they were kind of shocked, like, us? We get to go? Now, when we talk about it, they seem to kind of have this sense of pride in the fact that they get to go. I know they won't take it for granted. I know they'll be on their best behavior, and I know they'll represent our school really well. And I'm really thankful that, this grant is giving us all this opportunity to go and learn. And I think it will help foster, some really thought-provoking discussions in class and some really authentic writing assignments. Now that I've written one grant proposal, I definitely have more confidence in my ability to write another one in the future. Even if I hadn't been successful with this grant, I think just the experience of going through the process helped me to understand the grant proposal process a little bit better. I mean, I'm still a beginner, I'm still learning, but I have more of an idea of what goes into it. And when writing in the future, I think I'll have a little bit more confidence in my abilities and what to keep in mind and what I've learned. So good luck to all of you who are writing grants. Keep, the outcome in mind, your students, if you're writing for students in mind, and be confident. You can do it. Good luck.